So good evening. We are back again, 3-point collectors, and we have put Jurgen Klopp in the bin. The Scousers are fuming that we're over-celebrating. Unlucky. This is the same club whose manager did a way on a 2-2 draw at Anfield. Good one, mate. Anyway. We are going to delve into all of this. Big up to everyone who's locked in, man. Nearly 100 likes already. Come on, you lot are smashing it. 230 inside, 71 likes. Bosh, that's what we like. Big up to Cole Rossi as well. Gifted out 5 memberships. So if you have got one of them, Ian McCauley got one. Arsenal First. Hale Gunner. Who else? Adama H, Adama Pictures Productions got one as well. So yeah, come on, big up to Rossi, man. Big up to you, bro, and make sure you thank him in the chat. But yeah, 3 points. Man City tonight. I think we're all looking forward to that. Hoping that Ivan Toney FC can do us a favour. And some great performers yesterday. Some very frustrating moments in that game. If Matty had any hair, he would have been ripping it out yesterday on the watch log, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But we are back in the bin now. Apparently, we have to run back to our little holes. All the rats have got to disappear, etc., etc. How about piss off? How about that? Kenny, how's your Monday, mate?
My Monday's been fantastic. You know, we beat Liverpool, big game. You know, it's funny how everyone, you know, like echoes what our fears that if we lost Liverpool, we would have been out of title race. Everyone mentioned it, you know, the pundits, even our enemies within our fan base. Apparently we were wrong about that assumption, and we're wrong to celebrate, because at the end of the day, us rats, you know, shouldn't be celebrating Arsenal winning games. But you know, I say one thing, I say it 1,000 times. You know, I think a rat, the definition of a rat, is someone who actually jumps on a bandwagon of a cause, was never really into it properly, never really wanted in that cause, and that's a fact. I know it for a fact. Yet had pictures taken with the person they wanted out. I think that's quite extraordinary, really. And most importantly, you know, the price of that person's dedication to a cause that they were never really wanted in was high profile, you know, like I said, activities and a high profile presence. But you know what it says? What the Lord giveth, they take away. That translate into cancel culture. So far, exactly. I haven't been cancelled. So I'm going to I'm glad to attend.
It'd be a brave person to try and cancel you, Kenny. Put it that way.
Well, try.
How are you, Matty? How's life in America today, man?
Oh, that's outstanding, brother. 3 points in the bag. Liverpool defeated, sent Klopp packing away from the Emirates for the final time, at least with Liverpool.
Yeah, well, we didn't even clock that yesterday, really, did we? Right till the death.
Yeah, we were locked in on trying to win that game. You know, we were so over the moon afterwards. We didn't even, you know, think about it until after we talked about it. But yeah, you know, that's done and dusted, man. And we are on to West Ham. We are on to West Ham.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's another cup final, as we'll say. I know it's a cliche that does the rounds in football a lot, but if we're going to win this title, we have to take each game as a cup final. It's as simple as that. Like, we cannot lose a game. Yeah, if we lose any more games, it's curtains. Yeah, and that's how fine the margins are when we've had that 1 in 7, 2 in 8. I think it's now 4 in 11 now, is it?
Yeah.
So it's a lot better now. We've won the last 3, which is obviously the Dubai trip obviously helped. They got a bit of sunshine on their body, and all of a sudden they started bagging goals again. It's a miracle, Kenny. You was at the game. Make sure you follow Kenny's Insta as well, people, and Matty's Southern Gooner YouTube channel. Links are in the description. If somebody can get them, one of the mods can get both of their links. I'll pin it. I'll put it in the same comment, and I'll pin it in the chat. It'll be easier to find. But yeah, you was at the game, Kenny. What was the atmosphere like going into the game? Obviously, I know with the big games, there's always a buzz, but what was it like yesterday?
Buzz for that game. The atmosphere was absolutely rocking. And I mean rocking before the game. Everyone was on the sort of same page. We all had the same sort of thoughts that if we lost that game, we'd have been out of title race. And everyone, you know, celebrated with vigor. There was loads of hugs. It was limbs when all the goals went, and it was limbs after the match. So, you know, you know, the media accused Arsenal of over-celebrating. I think you could accuse, you know, the players of over-celebrating. You could actually accuse the fans of over-celebrating. I mean, I went over to, you know, I shouldn't really be saying this, but I went over to like the press box, gave a couple of journos I liked big hugs. I gave, you know, our good friend Harry Simeo 2 massive hugs. I gave John Cross a hug. That's how much it
Smithers.
And I actually went to the press box and had a bit of a laugh with Oliver Holt, because, you know, Oliver Holt stole one of my quotes after the Brighton game, where I said, I shouted over to Perry Groves that we bottled the league. So I went up to Oliver Holt and went, Ollie, what do you think? Do you think we're going to bottle it this time? And he started laughing. I went, yeah, you remember, don't you? You remember what you did afterwards? He just gave me the thumbs up. So it was really like absolutely buzzing. I would say that Liverpool end scarpered, and I mean scarpered. You know, within 5 minutes of you know, the game ended, you looked over to the away end, it was just like bare. Mm. They had it on their toes. They couldn't wait to get out of there. But in terms of like the match itself, we definitely David raised their game. You know, because of what happened in the league, the FA Cup was a great motivator for us, because I think the players felt they had plus points, and they felt that Liverpool took their legs away from them when they weren't expecting it, because, you know, the amount of chances we had, the amount of possession they had, I said, right, we're not going to let it happen this time. And I thought, you know, special praise has to go to Declan English. You know, a lot of people Jorginho, man of the match. I understand it, I respect that, but I think Declan English, you know, repelled a lot of Liverpool's attacks, a lot of Liverpool's you know, attacking moves, and I thought he had a really, really good game. I think that's Declan English's best game in an Arsenal shirt. But he's had probably less than good performances, and he's been given man of the match. So whoever adjudicates the man of the match, you don't know what they're going to see. But I suppose it's the emotion of it. If it's Gary Neville getting out the man of the match, well, you got to tell me the people's fault. But must say, good response. I think going into the Liverpool game on the back of 2 wins, albeit against Crystal Palace and albeit against Nottingham Forest, you know, the fact is we've gone there, we've won twice, we've got that winning feeling in, so that did kind of help us. Equally, Liverpool would have gone there with a lot of confidence, but the fact is we were disruptors in what Liverpool wanted to do. You know, they didn't, you know, come out of traps. We came out of traps pretty well, played with a lot of pace, and I must say, I didn't even notice it until yesterday. Kai Havertz has got pace. I repeat, Kai Havertz has got pace. There were times when he was running through the middle, and I'm thinking, when he ran through for that first goal, I went, oh, bloody hell, what's Martinelli doing? Oh, bloody hell, it's Kai Havertz. I went, what? When a through pass went in the second half, he was sprinting past. Don't get him wrong, him and Konate had a really good battle. He gave Konate a really hard time, just as hard a time as Martinelli did. But, you know, props to them, and also props to Trossard. You know, a lot of Arsenal fans were screaming and shouting when Martinelli got taken off. I think if they see what Trossard did in the last 20 minutes, I think they'll change their minds, because he was immense as well in terms of, like, from attacking point of view and from you know, from a defensive point of view, where it made it difficult for Liverpool to get out of their back line. So props to him. You know, he is one of the rare players with a bit of quality. So you got to shake their hands. You really got to shake the players' hands. But saying that, it's only one win. I do understand people mention it. Every Arsenal fan I spoke to I can categorically say, do not believe for 1 minute we're going to win the title. They don't believe it. They think that we're either going to finish second and third. That is the consensus around the stadium. It's not just speaking to people I know. It's conversations I heard, you know, on the bus back to Crouch End, and also on around the ground. People were talking amongst themselves and just accept properly, you know, we're probably going to be a bit short this season. But you know what? Let's enjoy the win, because at the end of the day, if you beat your top 6 rivals at home, you do celebrate. You have to. You know what I mean? Because it's a rarity when we beat Liverpool. It doesn't happen enough. We've had some really massive thrashings with them, mostly at Anfield, but to beat them in the Emirates, second time in 2 seasons, it is a massive effort, and we've had to work our nuts off for those 2 victories.
Yeah, man. No, listen, that game was mad frustrating at times. I can only imagine what it was like in the stadium. Like obviously, Kenny, you go every home game, yeah, and you've been for years, right? That's got to be up there as right, obviously we couldn't hear the atmosphere on TV because we were watching on mute, obviously, but there was people in my chat saying the stadium was pretty quiet for bits of the game, but then obviously after the second goal went in, mate, the chat was just lighting up saying the stadium's erupted. So like, listen, you've been to a lot of games. With obviously the atmosphere this season's not been as loud as it has last season. Yeah, there's multiple factors for that. One, we're not playing as great in terms of what we're looking at, and two, they've done the ballot system now rather than what it used to be. But where does that rank yesterday? Is that up there like with last season's atmosphere or other games? You're on mute, mate.
For that game only, the atmosphere was rocking, but it's because it's what's at stake. You know, it was a genuine 6-pointer. You know, normally, you know, there's a massive buzz when we play in Tottenham because it's a North London derby. And obviously, Chelsea do come to that category, and there's with the Man United thing. But today, you know, yesterday, it was because of what was at stake. You know, let's face it, universally, man to man, or if you want to, if now we're in a sort of like a, how do I say, woke times, woman to woman, or, you know, we would have been out of title race if we lost. Simple. And even if we drew, it'd be like looking for snookers. That's how big the game was. That's why the celebrations was justified because of the relief, just as much as euphoria, relief. Because you know, no Arsenal fan I know wants to go back to the old days of just getting in Europe in the top four.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, top four ain't a trophy, despite what Wenger told everyone. Right, big up to everyone locked in as well. Big up to J-Rob as well for 29-month membership, and to Oregon Goon as well, 48 months, 4 years today. He said Jez is out of his op and he's fine.
Good news.
So yeah, big up to Jez, man. And he says hello to everyone. See you soon, Jez. Yeah, come on. Big up to everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you are smashing these likes up as well. Big up to everybody who's putting in comments like this as well. Sorry, Lee, this must be really tough couple of weeks for you, mate. Big win against Liverpool must have ruined the week's script. Well, believe it or not, I don't have a script because I just say what I think. Yeah, this ain't Sky Sports, mate. I don't get told what to say on my channel, and I'll get views regardless, mate. Win, lose, draw, games, no games. Make sure you come and tune in for the watch along tonight because I'll be watching Man City. We can profit off a proper team tonight, or maybe we could profit off of Brentford winning. Who knows? But thanks for your concern, mate, and have a double unskippable. Bosh!
In the bin.
Dute inganoi.
In the bin.
Vete a la mierda, hijo de puta. Anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, you tell him, Matt. You tell him, brother. Matt, we were doing the watch along with Ola, and very nerve-wracking at times. We obviously got the goal, and then after that, we'd actually missed a sitter before that. What a breakaway from the goalkeeper, throwing it out. Martinelli absolutely smoked Kanate down that left side. I can't believe, like, Kanate's quick as well. Martinelli left him for dead. Puts it on a plate. What a cross. And fucking Saka, man. I don't know how he missed that. Even Eddie would have scored that. Yeah. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And then at that point, you're thinking, oh, is this going to be one of them days? And then we get the goal. And then the bozo happens, the bozo moment. And we're thinking, oh, this is all off, bro. This is all off. Then for 5-10 minutes, second half, they were all over us, man, just taking pop shots. Anyway, only had one shot on target in the whole game, but it didn't feel like that, did it, in the game, man, during the watch long. And then we're breaking away, and it was like, right, keep going. And then they stop and come backwards. It was so frustrating. But then obviously Van Disney happened, Virgil Van Northside,
yeah,
and Alice in Wonderland, they happened. And from then on, we kind of dominated, didn't we?
Yep. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I want to say a special shout out to Kenny for wearing that Diodora shirt today, man. Throwback. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. But yeah, man, yesterday's game was it was crazy how it started. And you saw this is the big takeaway I took away from yesterday's game. And I thought about it, and I sat around this morning over breakfast, and I was thinking to myself, and what this team is gonna have to do, and we saw it yesterday. Whatever we're good at, we're just gonna have to focus on what we're good at. We know we don't have a striker, so we got to make do what we got. You have to find a way. It's like you're gonna have to find a way to make what works. You know, they say Zinchenko got hurt yesterday. Is what I heard. That I don't know.
Apparently it's not a recurring injury. Apparently.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you, we watched it in the first half. Ken, I don't know if you saw it the way we saw it. When we watched it there towards the end of the first half, they were getting ready to start working that side where Zinchenko was. And every time he would slide inside, they would immediately go to that spot. So when they made the change, they went to Kivior. We were like, well, wait a minute now. Whoa. Kivior comes out.
Yeah, we were desperate for Zinchenko to come back on, bro. We were bring it back.
whoa. But he was able to hold his own and get through with that, get done with that. You look at Kai Havertz, 29 yesterday. You look at him yesterday. Now, do I think he's going to do that consistently all year long? No, but if that's what he can do, if that's what he can contribute to the team, that kind of madness, slapping linesmen's flags down and getting people sent off and just winding up everybody, I'll take that. Quite frankly, I've said before, I think he's better up there than he is in midfield because up there he can pretty much stay out of trouble. You just got to hope he can finish. You look at Martinelli. We need more of that. We've got to have that for the next 15 or so games. You've got to have everybody doing the best that they can in what they do, because that's the only way we'll be able to compete. It's going to have to be duct tape and paper for the rest of this season. And it's going to have to hope that it bends but don't break, because, Lee, we've got a massive game this weekend. And as far as I'm concerned, every team we play is the best team in the Premier League. Whoever we play next, if they can say we playing Burnley, they're the best team we ever played. That's the mentality that we should have going towards every game for the remainder of the season. And that's what Arteta should be telling those players, is that they have got to turn it on all season. And just once it's over, we'll rest, because they're going to have those kind of performances. We've been. You remember? I don't know if it's a couple of games ago I said that if we're going to drag it out, I'd rather drag it out at the end of the season and get over the line, as opposed to like we did early and they just fade away. But it's going to take everything. It's like we said yesterday during the first half. Everybody has to be mentally in the game. Everybody has to be mentally in these games. And what did we saw? We saw at the end of the first half, one mistake, and then we will ruin what happened there. We've already become a meme today on that. But we've got to just consistently try to get over the line. And it's going to take everybody. It's going to take every single body. Arteta's got to make, we talked about this, I think, on the watch along, not the watch along, but the player ratings, is that he didn't do a lot of tinkering like he normally does. He's got to trust himself. When he makes a decision, he's got to stick with it. He can't go pulling here, moving there, sliding around. If it's working, let's leave it alone. Just leave it alone. I heard.
Well, sorry to cut you. Yeah. What I also noticed, just I said it in the watch along. Yeah, like he wasn't in that first half. He wasn't doing all that micromanaging, waving his arms about. He was just standing there because the game plan that he'd put in place was actually working. Yeah, but then as soon as Liverpool came out in the second half, for the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, he was all like this 100 miles an hour. He's running up and down. He was out of his technical area. He was throwing the ball to players. It's like, mate, just slow down, because that then causes panic within the team. Yeah. And when he doesn't do that, we play better anyway, because they almost have a little bit more freedom.
He's got to. And see that's what cost us the title down the stretch last year. Was in that Liverpool game, he went to micromanaging. It cost us when we played him when we drew with him the first time. And I think he realized, what, I'm just going to kind of fall back a little bit and see how this plays out, because you've got to trust your players. At that stage, as a coach, I've always said that once the players on the pitch and in that situation, they have to get themselves out of it. There's nothing you can do. You can tell them all you want. They have to do it, and they were able to get themselves out of the situation, and we were able to make the most of it. And you're going to have times like with that goal we scored, the second goal, stuff like that happens. This is what happens when you press hard and work and put pressure on other players. We have got
more direct at times. That was a long ball over the top.
Yeah, well, we were sitting there looking like, well, what are we doing? And then just came out of nowhere. It just came a little doink out of nowhere, and we were like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we'll take that. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you. We've got to go back to the way we played last season going down the stretch. I got a taste of. We got a taste of it yesterday. We were overwhelming Liverpool there. Once we made it through that initial wave, And then we started to turn on the juice. You saw how everything changed, and it completely caught them off guard. And if we can continue, if we can just find a way to just try to recapture some bit of form of what we had last year, we might be able to make a little noise. I'm not gonna say we're gonna win the title. It's just right now the odds, the numbers just it ain't adding up. But who's to say this is my thing? I'd rather just you know how if you go out to you used to club back in the day, Kenny used to be a bouncer, whatever. You know, back in the day, you have that one cat that would just hang around the club. Just hang around the club, just hang around the club, just hang around the club. And they say, hey, man, what you doing? You wanna come on in for the night? Yeah, I'll come on in. You sneak them in the back door. That's the way we're gonna have to be with this title. We just gotta kind of hang around the door, and if something drops on the floor, we'll pick it up.
Like Ty waiting outside the Emirates for Wenger every week.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You got to think when results like that happen. You think about the fact that someone like him is so dedicated to the club, win, lose, or draw, and it's people like him who you think, well done. But and it's what Matt said. That's exactly how the situation is. How we started the game. Great pace, took Liverpool by surprise. I do think that there was periods in the second half where the mistake by Van Dijk, because it's really Van Dijk's mistake. I think that changed the whole complexion of the game, because that could have gone either way. Either it could have pitted out to 1-1 draw, or we could have won it, or they could have won it. But the minute that second goal went in, the confidence and the impetus went from Liverpool, because you look at the substitutions. I mean, one Paul Chop, commented on my comment in the fan cam when I said, when we both said we didn't understand why Trent Alexander-Arnold was taken out of the team.
That was a massive mistake from him.
He says Trent wasn't playing well, but that's an armchair fan saying that. If you actually
disagree, I thought he was their best player.
If you actually watch within the stadium, you look at the situation that every time he got the ball, it created panic for Arsenal because they knew about his delivery. And there were instances, it wasn't just him, where Liverpool were spraying the ball around really well, especially down the left-hand side towards Diaz, where, beginning of the second half, Diaz got down the left-hand side, cutting, had a shot, and he did that a couple of times where, Liverpool could have been on top because, the own goal gave them a bit of impetus as well. So you've got to be impressed with the fact that we didn't panic, because I was speaking to a friend of mine yesterday that this can either go two ways. Liverpool have to score when they're on top, because if we weather that storm, we get a second end, that could cost them a game, and that's where we've done it really well. There have been times, when we went through that bad patch in December over Christmas, where when teams were on top, they were scoring against us. Hence the fact that we weren't able to get back in the game. So you have to big up people like Declan English, and the fact that he stayed in the game. Jorginho, you've got to big up as well. You've got to really big up. And there are times when believe it or not, Odegaard worked his nuts off as well in terms of getting in players' faces, robbing players. So the whole team deserves a bit of a pat on the back. But the frustrating thing about it is that there's so much football to play now. We've got to get this Liverpool game out of our systems, because West Ham are a wounded animal. Since they beat us at the Emirates, they've been a bit inconsistent. Like they've dropped a few points here and there. They got beaten by Man United. I think from a sort of perverse point of view, they actually thought they'll go there and win because Man United are there for the taking. So they would have been angry. Plus, they were knocked out by Bristol City in the FA Cup. So this is going to be a really hard game. And they're going to be motivated as well, because of the fact that it's Declan Rice coming back. Their fans are going to be up for it, plus another feat as well. They know they can beat us because they've done it before. So they didn't just beat
twice this season.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, they didn't just beat our cup side. They beat our strongest side available in the league.
Comfortable at the Emirates as well. Could have been 3. Rice gave the penalty away, didn't he?
So the essence of the West Ham game is easy. You score the first. If we get the first goal, West Ham's heads go down because they're thinking, "Oh no, here we go again." We may have these 62,000 fans behind us, but God, we're chasing Arsenal, and we're thinking, "God, not again," because we could take the game away from West Ham, and our tactics has to be that play at pace, be ruthless in front of goal, bit like we did last season, albeit you know, we got to finish the job off this time, and let's see where it gets us. But if it gets into a situation where it becomes frustrating for us, which then, you know, that's where big players have to step up. But, you know, it's West Ham. I say it with complete arrogance and lack of respect for Burnley, not because I have got anything against people from Burnley, but because of the way the season's, you know, drawn out. I say it respectfully. Burnley and Sheffield United, as far as I'm concerned, are mentally in the Championship. Their minds are now thinking, right, we're going to enjoy it as much as we can, but they're already got 1 foot in the Championship. So I expect us to beat Burnley comfortably the week after West Ham, and then they've got Sheffield United in the beginning of March. So those are the games where I expect us to get points. So really, I'm looking at, you know, West Ham, Newcastle at home, because you don't know what Newcastle are going to turn up. They're getting their better players back now, like Harvey Barnes. You know, he's going to push Gordon. Then you've got, after Newcastle, you've got Brentford. It's the Ivan Toney thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
he could just do something out of nothing. He's developing a really good partnership with you know, with Mopé, you know, and just think they still got Mbemo to come back. After that, it's Chelsea. You don't know what Chelsea are going to come back. You don't know whether
is Whisper available.
I think no, Wizard's going to be available as well. I think he's going to be packed by Africa by the time
he caused us untold problems in the 2 games last season in the cup and the cup game and the league game. And he missed so many chances. But if he had buried his chances, we would have been out that cup and they would have battered us in the league.
Yeah, the thing is that they got a genuine goal threat in Ivan Toney. It's like he hasn't been away. You know, he's so calm in what he does in terms of like everything he does. He's calm, but when it gets in the penalty box, it's great good. You know, Beckley's right about not having Paqueta next week, but the thing is, Alvarez, you know, had a really good game in his absence after you know, when he went off. So again, that's going to be our game. But you look at the Chelsea game as well. That's important as well, because you don't know what Chelsea's going to come up with. For all we know, Pochettino may be sacked by then if they get piped in the cup final. So, you know, they may get, you know, their interim manager, or they may get a new manager in and said, right, I've had enough of it. You lot are playing for your places. You got to the rest of the season to impress me. Who knows? They could be out the FA Cup as well. So although they haven't got anything to play for, they might be playing for places. And you know what Chelsea are like. They never liked us, Chelsea fans. Chelsea have never been our biggest friends, and it'll be something they will love more than anything to stop us.
And another team that played us off the park for about 70 minutes of their ground this season.
Yeah. They'll like to stop us from the league. Don't get me wrong. As much as they sing that, they bastardise the liquidator with "We hate Tottenham." Let's get in our fixed goals. They hate us just as much. So you've got to feel that all.
Yeah, no, 100%. Totally agree. Listen, big ups everyone locked in, nearly 500 in this. Smash the like button up, people. Pinned comment is Kenny's Insta and Matty's YouTube channel. I want to ask you both, come to you first, Matty. Right, yesterday, obviously, we see little glimmers of what we were doing last season. In terms of, we were very controlled and methodical at times with our passing. And it was almost like, you know, it was frustrating when Odegaard can have a shot and he don't, and Saka could go on the outside and smack it with his right, and he comes into 3 players, pulls inside. But there was times where it was just rapid. Like, look at the first goal. We were popping it around the back slowly, then we were easing up the midfield, and then bang, 1 ball round the corner from Odegaard, 29's clean through. He should have buried it, and then Saka was there. But do you think that that's because Liverpool come out and attack? Because 90% or 95% of the teams we play don't play like that. They'll sit and park the bus. So do you think, like, yes, it's great that we beat Liverpool. I'm not knocking it. We always want to beat Liverpool, especially if they're top. But do you think that, obviously West Ham ain't going to play like that. They're going to sit back and counter. But do you think that we can find a way to break these teams down if they are going to park the bus? Because so far this season, we're still there. We're 2 points off the top. But do you think that we can do it adequately enough to actually get over the line?
I think it's going to be a combination of a few things. I think it kind of goes back to what I said last go around. I think what we're going to have to do is we're just going to have to just chew the fat for each game. Each game, we've got to just figure out a way to get something out of it. You can't take a loss. You got to get something. And then what you're going to hope that you have is that the other teams start to chew on each other. because we're not. I don't see anybody in the top 4 or 5. I mean, even City included, that's going to tear off a massive run. Because City's going to exert a lot trying to. They've got to still win 2 games in hand, so they've got to get. They still have to do their part, and then they have to maintain. If any team I'm looking at right now outside of us that will probably slip up, Liverpool is notorious for slipping up, being up near the top of the table. And so what we'll have to do is we've got to just, like I said, we've got to just focus on what we're good at. What we're good at. All right. First thing, okay, we know we can if we work hard, we can win a game. So we have to apply that to Saturday's game. Because there's no needing to go on. I think it was Sunday or Saturday we played. Sunday. We played them Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, we when we played West Ham. Because all of that yesterday would be worth two shits if we go drop a load over at West Ham next week, and then we back to square one. So we've got to get some points on the board. We've got to start just kind of getting the points. You remember last year we kept talking about adding points, just getting the points on the board, get points
on the board, games in hand.
Yeah, we got to start getting points and start trying to create pressure for other teams to where they slip up. Now, as far as our play, I hope that we can just get back to the way we played last year, because there was times yesterday, me and you were about to just lose it over. You know, we felt like we had Liverpool right for the taking, and we would slow the play down. Odegaard, right for the taking, doubts himself, turns around. A lot of this at the end of the season, gentlemen, is going to come down to confidence. 90% of it is going to be confidence and mentality, and 10% mentality. It's got to be up here, coming down the stretch. There's nobody going to come. There's nobody coming in the door to bail us out. There's no signing that we can get. There's nobody coming back. We just got to take what we've got, and he's going to have. I told y'all before the window closed, he's going to have to coach himself out of the mess he put himself in, signing Havertz over the summer, and so he's going to have to figure a way that when we play these teams, that he can exploit the other team's weakness. He's going to have to actually coach, because, and it's a long way. I mean, you look at the games we got coming down the pipe. We've got United there towards the end. Spurs, they would love to have a say so in the title picture. You got, like Kenny said, Chelsea. You don't know what Chelsea. Mudryk might even show up, decide he want to play ball that day. Then we've got the Brentfords. Then you got the Burnleys. Then you've got all these slip up matches. We've got a lot. Then let's add in the Champions League.
We've got Porto.
Yeah,
at home on March the 12th, Kenny's birthday.
And so you look at,
and then we got Chelsea straight after that, 4 days later, and then the next game is 2 weeks after that. We got Man City,
and you got Newcastle in there somewhere.
Newcastle, Sheffield United, Brentford, Porto, Chelsea, Man City.
Look at that.
That run's quite tough.
That's a tough run. So this is
Sheffield United. That we should flatten them, but the rest of them games are a flip of a coin. Brentford at home, we should win, but who knows? Newcastle at home, we should win, but who knows?
No, this is what I said.
We should win, but who knows?
Lee, this is why I said every game we're playing, whoever we're playing is the best team we've ever played for the rest of the season. It has to be that. It has to be
as well. Sorry to cut you off, mate. The running as well from mid-April. In fact, let's go from after that Man City game. We've got Luton at home, Brighton away, Villa at home, Wolves away, Tottenham away, Bournemouth at home, United away, and Everton at home.
What did I tell you? What did I tell y'all now, chat? What did I tell y'all now, chat? I said March and April is hell on wheels, and they're going to have to literally go one game by game. I don't hear nobody on YouTube talking about, oh, we'll blow this team out and all this. Nope, it has to be one game at a time. You remember we walked down
100%.
Yeah, one game at a time. Y'all remember when we walked down United that year? We had to walk. We had to just walk them. We got to literally. We're going to have to do what City has done to everybody else over the last few years. We're going to have to literally try to walk them down. And
the thing is, if we do actually win the league this season, up against City and Liverpool, I think that would be a better achievement than if we walked it last season against City. Because now you're up against two managers, not one. Both of them managers have won the league. I want to get Kenny's thoughts on this question as well. Big up to everyone locked in, yeah? Chico, I'll come back to that question right at the end, mate, yeah? Appreciate it, bro. Big up Normski, man. Question for the panel. Let me start with you, Kenny. Would you say this is a 3-horse race?
It is mathematically, yes, it is. It is because you know this is the sort of critical part of the season where within this sort of little run, let's be honest. There's a couple of games where they're give me's. Burnley's a give me. That's a 6-pointer. You know, there's no doubt about it. And Sheffield United, that's a 6-pointer. So those are where we're going to get maximal points. We're going to have to work our nuts off to get points against Newcastle at home. We play really well because they're more than capable of parking that bus, and they have a bit of quality with Isaac. Brentford, if Ivan Toney wasn't playing, that's a 6-pointer. Because Ivan Toney's playing, even though we should be beating them, we have to work hard to beat them. And then obviously you've got
Luton.
Yeah, Luton in April as well. That at home, even though I think that's a game we should be beating, for some reason, Luton just think, you know what, they're just being themselves. They're playing like very direct. You know, they've got Ross Parkley who's having loads of fun. Adebayo is scoring goals. Ogbene is just thinking, you know what, we may get relegated, but I could put myself in a shot window. So it's going to be tricky, but we should win. But again, the 6-pointers are going to be Man City. You know, beat, even avoiding defeat may get you into it, but realistically, you have to beat Man City at this Etihad to have any chance of, you know, being the front runner of the title race. But losing against them could kick you out of it. But the game really is that it's against Tottenham away, and it's Ange Postecoglou where he's going to have his full team out. He's going to have you know, like 2 defenders. He's going to have the choice between Maddison and Bentancur. He's going to have Song back. Richarlison just can't stop scoring. Johnson's like, you know, raw, but he's coming to the game. Kulusevski's as well. So they're going to have a very strong attacking side. Plus they've got that midfield as well. That is going to be a really difficult game.
Yep.
Let's face it. Now they're out of everything, they can concentrate on the league. You know, they're not. I don't think they're looking for a top 4 place. I think they're looking to finish 3rd. So, you know, that's going to be difficult. You know, they threw it away against Everton, but no one's going to want to play Tottenham. Man City are not going to want to play Tottenham at their ground. Liverpool are going to find Tottenham a bit tricky, and they have to work their nuts off to beat them. Probably will beat them, but it's going to be hard. Who else has got to play Tottenham as well? You know, loads of teams ain't going to play them. Then you've got Aston Villa as well.
Yeah.
You don't know.
I was just getting ready to say Aston Villa.
We feel a good time because you know, Dave, Villa are like a bit Jekyll and Hyde.
Tottenham and Villa play each other on the 9th of March.
Yeah, see that's a 6-pointer.
Tottenham have got a lot of tough fixtures, by the way.
I told you, Lee. I told you we got a lot.
The game is Brighton at home. Yeah. Then they've got Wolves at home. Then they've got Chelsea. Oh, that's cancelled. Then they've got Palace at home. Yeah, then they've got Villa away, Fulham away, Luton, West Ham. They've still got Newcastle, Man City. They've still got us. Oh my days. They got us, and then straight after they've got Liverpool away.
But then again, we've got difficult games as well because the fact is that they're playing with a lot of expression there. Don't get me wrong. They're very ragged in the FA Cup against Man City and against Everton. Only they know why they lost that game. Why they dropped points. So you look at Spurs, they're a tougher proposition than they were last season. And they had Harry Kane. You know, there's no doubt about it. If Richarlison
they're definitely a better team, 100%.
And they keep Maddison fit. I think that they have a better chance of winning, getting through that period than they did last season because they got genuine creativity now. Creativity, and they're actually playing for their manager. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But the key games is going to be you know, Tottenham away, and then Man United again. Man United is another time. As much as Man United have got piped by, you know, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth at home, Brighton, you know, and they lost they dropped points against Liverpool, but got smashed by Man City. The fact is, whenever they play Arsenal at Old Trafford, somehow they find a way not to lose. And somehow they find a way to win.
And their manager, very similar to under Ollie as well. When his job is on the line, he somehow finds a win.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Look at the other night. If he had lost it, if he had drawn that game from 3-1 up in stoppage time, he probably would have been sacked. And somehow, bang, Kobe Mino pulls it out of the bag for him.
Yeah, and another thing as well, the Danish lad, Hoyland, he's scoring. He's actually looking.
His goal yesterday was very good. Very good goal.
Excellent goal. Rashford, I'm sure if he keeps Rashford out of the nightclubs,
you might get a out of him.
And let's face it, they're an outside chance for the top 4 or the top 5 now, because that can get you in the Champions League. So don't underestimate how hard it's going to be. And let's face it, last season when we had these hard games coming into April, that's where we ran out of gas and when we ran out of steam because we weren't keeping clean sheets. That's going to be our main thing. If we don't keep clean sheets coming into that running, then we have no chance of winning the league.
Let me add something to that, Kenny. There's another elephant in the room that's not being discussed. We've got to stay away from the injury bug too. We cannot afford.
But we're going to get them, though. Let's face it, we've got injuries.
We're going to get them, Kenny. This is where I don't want them. I don't want them on the back line. I don't want them on the back line, and we definitely don't need like a soccer or someone to go down because then it is going to.
The amount of games because we're, let's face it, every game we're playing is an important game. Saka's going to have to play every game because it's let's forget.
Look at Lee like, oh my Lord.
I wasn't laughing at that. I was laughing at this comment.
Oh, okay.
It just coincided with that. I was laughing at this comment.
Porto's going to be important. So home and away, and they've got a better pedigree in the Champions League than we have. This is facts. As much as people look at Porto, they're not a big European side. Well, they've won the Champions League a couple of more times than we have, and they're going to fancy their chances as well because they're thinking, you know what, we get past Arsenal, who knows what happens in the quarterfinal? It could. Everyone says it's a given that Man City and Real Madrid it's going to be between them, but you never know. Shocks can happen. 2004, no one fancied Porto to win the Champions League. They went and won it. So these are
mate. 2006. No, sorry, 2004. I'm lying. It was 2004. That 2004 semi-finals. Yeah, like just look at the teams that were in it. Monaco were in it.
Yeah,
Monaco were in the semi-final. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like these teams can win it. There is every team that's left in that bar Copenhagen. You could say, and maybe Dortmund. Yeah, you'd say, yeah, the rest of them have got a chance, including us. We have got a chance. We're in it. Yeah, but
you got a shot.
I think if we play Dortmund, I think we'll beat them. Yeah, and I also think spank Copenhagen.
It's all about the draw because if we get past Porto, we've got to try to avoid. And I know Spurs going to come in. Oh no, we want to fight them. We want to play them. No. You want to?
No, we want PSV or Dortmund next time if we get through. Yeah, because they're playing each other. So one of them's going through. PSV, we've already beaten twice comfortably in our group. And I think we'll beat Dortmund if we got them. But one of them's going through. They're Leipzig. They're an iffy team. They are, man. They're a dodgy team. Lazio are hard work. Yeah, Guendouzi plays for them as well. Yeah, but Bayern are always Bayern. Yeah, and then you've got Atleti. They stuck their way to a 1-1 at the Bernabeu last night.
Man, you saw that junk yesterday.
Yeah, Don Simeone stoppage time equaliser, bro.
One thing that could kill us in the Champions League. This like discussion and demands we have for a striker. I think that's where we are going to probably have problems in the Champions League. A lack of striker, genuine striker to put the ball in there because, teams do tend to defend a lot better in the Champions League.
One chance, you have to put games. Right? If you get that chance, bang.
The Champions League, can be the equivalent in national football, especially like when it comes to like the two legs, like Porto. They're not going to lose any sleep if they draw at their ground because remember, there's no away goals.
Yeah.
They're more than capable of thinking, right, we've stayed in the first leg, albeit our ground. We're going to go now to the Emirates and know full well that even if we draw 2-2, then we can take it in extra time and see where we go. So who knows? I think that's where you're going to rely on Martinelli Saka, Trossard,
Jesus.
and Jesus to not only be able to put the ball in that, but keep fit as well. Because if we don't have any cutting edge again in the Champions League, that's where I think we can't win it. Whereas you look at Bayern Munich, there's cutting edge, genuine cutting edge. PSG, despite their kamikaze inconsistency, there's cutting edge. Real Madrid is cutting edge, Man City cutting edge. That's where I think, this is where we got worries. And I suppose when it comes straight into the league, cutting edge is going to be very key because we are going to play exhausted teams, but we're going to be exhausted as well because, as I said before, he doesn't rate our bench. Certain players ain't going to get a look in. Smith Rowe will come in occasionally, but he won't start games regularly. So he's probably him.
We might see more Jorginho in the Champions League.
Oh, yeah. You'll see Jorginho, but he's one of the he's part of the circle of trust. Out of the subs who are part of the circle of trust, it's Jorginho and Trossard. I'm not sure Smith Rowe is part of the circle of trust.
Eddie and Reesane.
Oh, Eddie's finished at Arsenal. Eddie Nketiah is let's just say Eddie Nketiah has had his chance, and let's just say, who knows? He must have dropped the eggs in the egg and spoon race.
Yeah,
and all the yuck all over the floor because let's get him. He has no chance. His time is up at his club.
Yeah,
if he's at this club next season, I'll be stunned.
He should have moved on.
Thank you. He's come to the conclusion that his time's up.
He should have been moved on in the window. I think he should have been one of the players that should have been moved on.
In terms of what the manager's done, in terms of like his man management, he's given this guy every chance to be part of the circle of trust. So you can't slag off the manager for doing it. You can slag off the manager for making the wrong decision. But in terms of like if you're an Eddie fan, he has been given chances.
Yeah, he's had enough chances.
Enough chances. It's an indictment on Eddie Nketiah that last season, when Jesus was off, was out with his injury, Eddie Nketiah started against Man United, scored a couple of goals. This season now, Liverpool, similar time of the year, he hasn't got a sniff of getting a start. He reverted to Kai Havertz. Says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a good comment as well. Gabby Jesus here, right? Apparently he was out yesterday with that recurring knee injury. Since he's been at Arsenal, he's had 2 surgeries on the same knee, and it's clearly not helping, is it?
Well, that's that. Despite the fact that we talk about his lack of sort of goal return, I'll put more money in him to get more goals. Being a goals column rather than Kai Havertz. That's the situation. I can say to Jesus, right, you ain't going to get me 20 goals a season, but if you can get me 12, 13 and 14, I know you're going to get me them. I can't say that about Kai, and that's another worry. The pressure is now going to be on Saka and Martinelli and Trossard, because if you noticed, guess who hasn't been amongst the goals this season like he was last season? Captain Martin Odegaard. That's gone under the radar. Where's his goal return? He's
3 goals this year. 3 goals.
Yeah. So that's where I do have concerns about. Definitely in Europe, 100%. And the sort of inability to sort of like put our chances away will kill us in Europe. In the league, that still is a concern. So even though we're in the title race, we're going to have to go to that well. I mean, really go to that well, because you know what?
It's going to be tough, innit? It's going to be tough, bro.
You think Liverpool, despite the fact we gave a tankering yesterday, there's going to be goals from Salah, Jota, Nunez, when he puts his goals on, and Diaz as well. They're going to pipe with goals and get something out of nothing. I can't say that about our players yet.
This is where my frustration comes in. Is I just feel like that summer transfer window we did not prepare, and we didn't do it last season. And this is something historical. We don't prepare for the back end of the season. We just totally discount it, and then here we are in a situation now where you know, somebody's gonna have to step up. Somebody, you know, hopefully Charsar can go on one of those runs like he was at Brentford when we got him. We're gonna have to have something that can get us over that line. Somebody's gonna have to be a merge, you know, that can get it, that can get forward. Because if we don't, man, it's gonna be tough. We have got some massive matches coming up, massive. And I just think that summer transfer window just left us, you know, uncovered here coming down the stretch. And it's just going to require, it's going to require luck, a little bit of everything to try to kind of get through this. But it's going to definitely be tough.
You're absolutely spot on as well, man. The thing that pees me off, is like this profit and sustainability nonsense. Obviously, every club's done hardly any business. Right, two things I want to say here and get your thoughts on this, guys. Yeah, big up to everyone in the chat as well. Smash the like button up, guys. 500 odd in there. Yeah. But Nottingham Forest got done for profit and sustainability, and then they went out and spent about 50 million quid on deadline day. How's that work? Yeah, not only that, this has not just been a thing that's just been integrated into the Premier League teams this season. So we've known about this because it's been there for a few seasons. So if that's the case, and we've got top level executives at this football club that are experts in their field, whether it be an accountant, a lawyer, or both, etc., surely somebody at this football club would have said to Edu and said to Arteta, I don't think it's a wise idea going and doing 170 mil on two midfielders. Yeah, because we've got other areas and we're tight on the financial fair play thing, the profit and sustainability, and maybe you just want to keep a little bit aside for January. Instead, we went and blew our load on two midfielders.
Yep.
Right? And now we're sat here in January going, we're a bit short here, we're a bit short there, but we can't do anything. That, for me, is baffling.
They thought we were crazy when we kept bringing it up when the season started. We were like, we're short. No. Quite frankly, to be honest with you, we should have had some scouts down there at the AFCON looking to get some tanks, to bring in some tanks in this midfield and some beef, because it's gonna be. I'm telling you, Lee, this is what hurts me the most with this team, is the fact that we just leave so many stones unturned. And I feel like if we had the proper bodies, we could actually push for this thing. You know, for everybody to say we negative all the time, we know what the problem is. The problem is we need more bodies, and we consistently keep getting the bodies in the wrong places instead of just getting what we need, you know.
Yeah, man. Go on, Kenny, go on.
You know what I think's happened, right, is that the managers looked at the situation and he said, right, you know, and people have, you know, like called us out and said, look, here's you guys saying striker, but we scored about, how many goals we scored? About 85, 88 goals this season. 88 goals last season in the league. So the manager's going to look at that and says, right, I lost the league because I couldn't keep my best midfielder fit. We were conceding goals we weren't keeping clean sheets. We were losing control of games in the midfield, hence the fact that, you know, we were conceding big goals. So where I need to strengthen isn't up front. I need to strengthen in, you know, slightly in the midfield and defence as well. And I need a new goalkeeper. So that dictates what we saw in the summer. You know, he wanted to tweak up the midfield, so he's got Kai Havertz, who he feels has a goal threat in him, so he could tick two boxes. Obviously, he needed like Salt to play along Partey, but you know, subconsciously, I mean, excuse my French, and I apologise for swearing. I mean, the bullshit we're being served that he's got a muscle injury and a little bit of knocking training. Let's cut the bullshit.
We all know what that is.
Partey is not allowed to pay, and if you're I'm Thomas Partey. Nick, this is my theory. Mick Arteta wants Thomas Partey in his team, in his squad, because he needs him. But I think it's been taken out of Mikel's hands. And I think that
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
Let me tell you something now. The reason why it's been taken out of Mikel's hands is because of social bloody media. Let me tell you something right now. You can urinate in public and get away with it because of bloody social media. You couldn't even have a private conversation because of social media. You know, who needs like the news of the world when you've got bloody social media? And it's not Tottenham fans doing it; it's our fans.
Yeah,
come on. If you're a commercial, commercial entity and you want to be involved in a football club and it's all about the PR, if we read the rumours, then the PR people are going to read the rumours. So they're going to put pressure on the club to say, hang on here, you know, I'm not really sure about that. And then the powers to be will say, what, mate, Mikel, mate, you can't play him, you can't play him. So again, that part of our transfer strategy in the summer would look into that as well. Now, obviously, I've got no proof, but it does say a lot when, you know, a complainant names a particular player and then Barnet Police Service don't disclaim the complainant's, you know, tweets. Barnet Police Station tells basically instructs people on social media to stop harassing a witness. I mean, you could have said no comment, so you're stirring a pot as well on your social media. So, as I said before, the trouble with Arsenal fans is they're a gift that keeps on giving. They don't know when to shut their big gobs.
Yep. Well, they're the reason there's a ballot system in place, mate.
Yeah, that's the reason why the ballot system. Now, you know, if we had all done what the police have said and like not discuss, you know, an ongoing case, who knows what could have happened. Now, I'm not saying it's morally right, but the manager needs Thomas Partey in his team. Now, if there was if he wasn't named in social media, an allegation against him, I could tell you right now he'd be playing this season.
So, Kenny, if the board or the PR department or the dog, whoever was made this decision, if it affected him that bad, you had a whole damn summer transfer window. Move him on and get what you really need, please. It's just that simple.
This club don't do the right things, does it? It always does back to front. Yeah, when Urian Timber got injured, 15 days later, we get rid of Kieran Tierney. It's like, you know, he's injured. He's out for the season, well, most of it. So now you're getting rid of another left back. When you've only got one left back who's always injured as well.
Well, Lee Tierney's injury prone too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Look at Zinchenko, right? Kieran Tierney's back next week or the week after, I think. Maybe next week, right? But Zinchenko will now be out for another couple of games. Recurring injury.
You've taken off yesterday because I came back into like the to my seat and I said, well, hang on. I looked at it, I said, bloody hell, that looks like Jakub Kiwior. It is Jakub Kiwior. All right, a lot of people said, oh, let's get rid of Thomas Partey. He's a bit of a liability. But why do we send Kieran Tierney on loan? The manager doesn't want Kieran Tierney in his team. He doesn't need Kieran Tierney in his team. The only reason why we're not selling Thomas Partey or putting him out of loan is the manager. He don't want him to go. He needs him. Yeah. Because if the manager really wanted him to go, he'd be gone.
Yeah.
So, you know, all these bollocks.
His hands are tied, Kenny.
Yeah, people seem to forget that Mikel Arteta is a team manager, and there's certain decisions that have his discretion. This transfer window in the summer was all players that Mikel wanted and needed. It's the same situation with Kieran Tierney. He does not need Kieran Tierney in his team. He made his mind up about Kieran Tierney in 2021, 2022, and it's nothing to do with injuries. It's footballing reasons. He can't invert. People want to say, oh, yeah, he's a liability, he's injury prone. Or the other half says, oh, you know, he should be starting. 90%, 70% of fans agree with that. But the manager does not need Kieran Tierney. Let me tell you something now. If Mikel Arteta wants a player to stay, they'll stay. El Neni, all right, will do for now. Maybe El Neni probably he's a good entertainer. Maybe he's funny. Maybe he's a good team man. Who knows what he does? Or maybe he knows a few good restaurants in Covent Garden. Who knows? But, you know, Eddie Nketiah was his personal, like, you know, like I said, re-signing. He persuaded Eddie Nketiah to stay when Eddie Nketiah had offers to leave the club 2 years ago because he, you know, after his late run against Chelsea and Man United and Leeds, you know, he said that there's a place for Eddie Nketiah in his team. Hence the fact he stayed. The same thing with Reece Nelson. He feels that there's place in the squad. These are his personal interventions. Now, Balogun doesn't want Pelican in his team, which means he says, off you go, mate. But the club said, well, yeah, wait a bit, mate. Let's see if we can put a price in and get 40 or 50 million for him, between 40 and 50 million for him. They got probably just under 40 for him. He could go. Let's not forget how much power Mikel Arteta has at the club. Yeah, he's probably not won the argument in terms of like getting Thomas Partey out of the club completely, but he's still here, which means there's a tug of war whether he can play or not.
Yeah, facts. Absolute facts. Big up to 90 Stephen as well. Would you say the fact that 1 to 5 teams are in this title race, or 1 to 5 in the league, I think, in the title race will play into Arsenal's favour instead of being chased down by one team as last season? No, not for me. I think if he wins it, then it'll be a better achievement than winning it against one. Because obviously winning it against multiple teams is obviously a harder thing to do. But no, not for me. Not for me, bro. I think it's more of a hindrance. Yeah, but again, we've seen 2 Januaries running the ambition of this football club. Last year, 8 points clear, 7 points clear in January, whatever it was. And we signed Kivior, Jorginho. And people can rave about his performance yesterday and a couple of other performances that whoopie-doo. Yeah, at the end of the day, if we wanted to get over the line last season, you don't sign Jacob Kivior and Jorginho. You don't. Yeah, and we didn't. So we didn't get over the line. This season, yeah, I understand why people are hyped. Yeah, and this is what makes me laugh. Like when they sit there and go, last season was the best season in the Emirates era. Oh, that was the first time we've been in a proper title race, yeah, in the Emirates era. Yeah, and then you go, well, hang on a minute. We were in a title race in 16. We're in a title race in 13, 14. We're in a title race 08. Yeah, and then they go, no. We fell away in February and March. So why are you saying we're in a title race now then? It was 23 games gone. Yeah, in 2014, we fell away after about 25 games. Yeah, what's the difference then? We're not in a title race right now. You're in a title race when it comes down to the nitty gritty. Yes, we're up there. For me, it's not a title race right now. Yeah, we're mathematically there. But for me, it ain't a title race until the shit goes down. Yeah, and then when you get down to that final knock-ins, that last 10, 11 games, yeah, when the pressure really kicks in, yeah, because now every point dropped is a problem. Yeah, draws kill you. You have to win. Man City play first. Now you have to follow up with a win. They've won 6-0. You have to go and win.
I can understand what people are saying though, because I think because of our Humpty Dumpty moments in December. I won't just speak about Christmas times, but you know, Humpty Dumpty fell off the Great Wall quite a few times in December. We're in a situation where we have to win every game in order to stay in a title race, and that's the situation. Liverpool really psychologically have to win every game to stay in a title, to be part of that title race. One, because it's Man City, in it. Man City, just like the 2020 21 season, where everyone thought Man City were dormant. Look what happens. You know, a few games get postponed because of COVID. Man City have a good run in games. Teams start dropping points, i.e. Man United in 2021. Guess what? Man City have these nice little run of games. Keep on winning them. Before you know it, Bob's your uncle. They're leading the title charge.
Funny's your nanny.
That's exactly what a lot of people feel is going to happen this time. Because guess what? They won the World Club Cup against the Brazilian side. I don't even know if that was actually a match. I thought that was a practice match for them anyway. But they didn't get to play Brentford, so that's their game in hand. And then obviously they got a game in hand that they've got to play on the 20th of February this month, and then they got Brentford today, which is their game in hand because they're the last team to play this weekend. So they win those 2 games. Before you know it,
both of their games in hand are against Brentford. That's mad.
Yeah, and just when you're thinking, you know what, Liverpool could have been 8 points ahead. All of a sudden, within 2 games, Man City are leading the table. That's Man City for you. So Arsenal can't have to win every game. I know it's perverse.
And that's the thing as well, right? Man City, I'm just looking at the table now. Man City have scored 1 goal less than Liverpool, who are leading scorers in the league. And they've got 2 games in hand. Yeah, they've only conceded 2 goals more than Liverpool and 2 goals more than us. And they've got 2 games in hand, to be fair. But
what about the alleged slump because when they lost against Arsenal, that when they dropped,
and they lost to Wolves. Who else did they lose to?
Wolves.
They won 1 in 6 or something, didn't they?
Yeah, and then when Crystal Palace scored a last-minute penalty, that alleged slump.
Oh yeah, the 2-2, yeah.
2-2. And then they dropped points. Well, they drew against Liverpool. All of a sudden, before you know it, open your eyes
Top
again.
of the table again.
Ridiculous. I mean, Chelsea. I mean, like Carlton Palmer and all that. They should have smashed it to pieces. But Chelsea is celebrating a 4-4. Like draw at home.
Yeah. The 4-4 as well. See, this is the thing, Kenny. Right? If you look at the players they got rid of in the summer, Mahrez left. Right. Then they got rid of Liverpool. Then they got rid of one. They got rid of Cole Palmer. Yeah. They got rid of what's the other one, man? Cancelo. There's 5 players that were first team players. Yeah, maybe not week in, week out. Cole Palmer was coming in and out the team.
Didn't go anywhere else.
Fell out with him, but Gundogan was clutch for him, played a lot of games. Mahrez was clutch for him, played a lot of games. Laporte was in and out the team, but he was still a valuable member of the squad. 5 first teamers gone. 5. Yeah, and that's after the season before where they got rid of a few. Yeah, and you're looking at it and you're thinking that is how far clear they are. Yeah, the fact that in the last 2 summers, they have allowed player after player after player, because the summer before they got rid of Zinchenko and Jesus. So there's 7 first team players over 2 seasons. They just said, see ya, you can go if you want, no drama, we're cool. And now you look at it, yeah, they haven't really spent a great deal of money in them 2 summers. In fact, they've probably turned a profit.
In 3 years, they hadn't spending the money in 3 years, Lee.
And that's the thing, like Haaland cost 50 mil. Well, they pretty much got that for Zinchenko, for Jesus.
We paid for that. I was like, no, they didn't spend that. We gave them the money for that.
Yeah, then you look, they got 40 for Cole Palmer, they got 35 for Zinchenko. Yeah, they got
Jesus,
they got 30 million for Mahrez.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? I think they got some money for Laporte. Right, I think Gundo went for free. Yeah, like they've got rid of a lot of big players at that football club, and the fact that we are still not going to beat them to a title, in my opinion, shows how far away they are. Yeah, the fact that they can allow 7 first team players, Fernandinho as well, and Sterling. There's another one. Sterling. So there's 8 players they've let go.
Yeah, but you get away with it because they under Mancini and Pellegrini, there were times when even though City were dominant, they weren't exactly like dominating the league like they are now. And they did make mistakes in the transfer market with certain players. Certain players. Rodwell wasn't one success. You know what I mean? That's one player you can think of who wasn't a success when he went to Man City. Savage wasn't a particular success when he went to Man City. There's been loads of other names who just didn't redeem. Di Michelis, Otamendi, relative success. But the players Pep has got as signed since he took the job full time in 2016. Name me a bad buy that Pep's made. I can't think of one. And then when you look at the players he's promoted from within the youths, name me a player that's promoted, and you think, right, he looks out of place in a City shirt. Rico Lewis doesn't look out of place in a City shirt. Phil Foden doesn't look out of place, and he's like an experienced footballer. He's only 23. Yep. And then you've got Oscar Bob. He's going to be a good player. Jeremy Dogu.
He ripping it up.
He's going to rip up. Jack Grealish. You can whatever you think about Jack Grealish as a person and a character, you can't say that he wasn't a success. So that's
He bought him. He's done back-to-back trophies, titles. In fact, since Grealish has been there, they've won 6 trophies.
Yeah, and that's the crux of the situation. They have been qualified successes. Hence the fact. Oh yeah, all right. You talk about Calvin Phillips. That's one. Give you that, Kieran. Benjamin
There's
Mendy,
a few names: Mendy, Phillips, Bravo.
But
let's be real. We're going back to right at the very beginning, apart from Phillips.
Those numbers are substantially less than the we've had.
I'm talking about key signings. Key signings. Ortega's a bloody goalkeeper, isn't he?
Yeah, and the thing is, Ortega plays games. He puts him in the cups.
He plays games, and he plays I'm sure he's played in big cup games and got them to final.
He's played in Champions Leagues.
Yeah,
but this is the thing, right? When we're doing this here, and big up the chat as well for playing along. When we're putting names in there, it is minimal amounts of names.
Minimal.
We could literally list,
25
of the last 2 summers, the duds that this manager has brought.
Let's talk about the duds that Pellegrini and Mancini bought. You think about it, there's a truckload of duds.
Hey, go back to Mark Hughes, Robinho. He thought he was joining Man United.
Yeah, think about those times, right? You know, remember the guy from Cote d'Ivoire who was at Swansea? He smashed it at Swansea, striker. He went to Man City.
Oh, yeah.
Guy from the Cote d'Ivoire. There's Di Michaelis was a success. Otamendi was no success. Was poor, absolutely poor. You can categorically say that. You know, who's that? Mangala. Remember, you know, the guy Mangala. He was poor. Do you remember? My memories of Mangala was in the Manchester derby when he was on the side. He was warming up on the sidelines. And he had a bubble hat on because it was cold.
I remember.
Wally Allen just ripping it off him. Get it off him when he was running past him. That is my memory of that. And he was signed by Pellegrini. So you think about all those players.
Look at these names.
Lately, Pep's had some successes with the players he signed. That's one of the reasons why they are, you know, it's business as usual with Pep, where you've got a feeling with, you know, like the players that I mentioned, it was bad money spent.
Sinclair, Jotovic, like this is the thing. Like with Pep, he normally gets it pretty spot on. Yeah. And when they sell, when they sell players, they get maximum dough. Yeah, they got 50 for Sterling, 45 for Jesus, 30 for Mahrez. Yeah, like these players all coming towards the end of their career.
You think about so remember Pep's bought you know, like Mahrez success, even though he sold him. Sterling
they got half their money back on Mahrez.
Yeah, and you can say to a certain extent, Zinchenko was a success. That's a success. He was a lot better. But Pep didn't buy him though. Pep didn't buy Balotelli though. That was Mancini.
Yeah, Zinchenko at Man City was a success, but I think anyone who plays for Pep is going to be a success.
Jesus was a success to a certain extent. He was a success. He wasn't.
Yeah,
you know,
like if you look at the trophies and the amount of games, and like I remember last day of the season, I think he scored 4 goals against Watford, didn't he, Jesus?
Yeah.
But the thing is, Pep knew that he was going to get rid of him. Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Right, you don't go 2 years without a striker and barely play the guy. Yeah, when he's the only striker on the books. Yeah, he was playing Mahrez up front. He was playing De Bruyne false 9. He was playing flipping David Silva false 9. Yeah, like he was playing everyone false 9. Yeah, it's like, you know, as soon as Aguero was out and gone, like they went 2 years with no striker, and Jesus barely got any games.
He looked at
fizzle him out.
He looked at Jesus, and he looked at that sheet of paper, and he said, "This man has been in my team for 3 years, and all he can score is 14 goals. Yeah, he's got to go. We got to look at him."
Mate, and look, you've just killed it as well with that comment there. Look at Sterling's form at Chelsea, compared to his form at Man City. When Kevin De Bruyne is laying him on the plate, back stick for a tap-in, mate, you are going to bag for fun. Yeah, and he couldn't score more than 14.
Yeah, you got to go, bro. Got to go.
I think the thing with Sterling, you know, I think at Chelsea, you know, I think that they actually were accurate in their assessment of him. You know, he's not a leader. You get a feeling as a player within a team, he's what I call a follower. He follows a leader in terms of like on the pitch. He's not the sort of person despite the fact he's got experience. He's had a fantastic career, both internationally and domestically. But what Chelsea needed, that young team needed, was someone like a John Terry type, you know, big Frank type, a Drogba type. Sterling's not that person. Sterling is one of those people that if you're in a good team and you're dominating games, both internationally and domestically, Sterling looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Facts, absolute facts. And listen, Sterling at Chelsea has not been as bad as people are making him out to be. Yeah, but Sterling at Chelsea is on 325 grand a week. He's got to be doing a lot more than that, mate.
I think he's hiding behind Cole Wagwan Palmer.
Oh, 100%. He's just there for the paycheck, mate. 325 grand a week.
How old is Sterling now? 32?
No,
he's still in 20?
He's 20. He's going to be 28, 29 this year.
He's 29. Just turned 29 December.
Yeah, but you look at Sterling. Let's not forget Sterling joined Liverpool when he was 15. From Queen's Park
That's what it
Rangers.
is. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
he was
Yeah.
that team young, man.
2 years later. So Raheem Sterling, he's so you think about it, he's had a 12-year continuously playing games of Premiership for 12 years. So, of course his numbers are going to look good. And they should look good because let's face it, despite the criticisms you have of Sterling, one thing you can't take away from him, if you want someone in a lot defences, it may not have the finishing product, but to get in those dangerous
he'll win you free kicks. Yeah, he'll win you free kicks for fun. He's direct.
Even if he doesn't score, he's making a go because he'll make a save. He's because of his quick feet and
he's a nuisance. He'll make a nuisance of himself.
No, lower gravity. He does get into good positions. He's still a dangerous player, and I still think that Gareth Southgate is cut his nose off to spite his face by not considering him for selection. So, clearly his house wasn't burgled.
But this is the thing as well, right? He's only just turned 29. And when people want to sit and waffle about saying players come into their prime in their late 20s, that is a complete load of garbage. Players come into their prime in this modern era of football at any point. Yeah, who's to say that Bukayo Saka's not in his prime now? Yeah, because Raheem Sterling was in his prime 5 years ago.
What about Rooney?
About a year and a half, 2 years ago, and then he's gone.
Yeah, but the thing is, one thing about players who like your Ryan Giggs, your Wayne Rooney's, like Sterling, those kind of players who make their debuts and are in and around the first team, if not regular starters from the age of 17, 18. Their prime years are not going to be 27. Their prime years are probably going to be 20, 23, 24.
Yep.
Because they would have 6 years experience of first team football. Like, for instance, Phil Foden now, when he's 18. Yeah, Mark Owen as well. Phil Foden, who knows what, how old is he? He's not even like 25 yet. He's
23.
He's prime years because he's made his debut when he was 17, 18 at Man City. Being around teams that lifted big trophies, he's now an experienced player. So who knows where his burnout for me will come a lot earlier than a player who's had a
Wayne Rooney's another one. Playing elite level football and being world class at 17. Seston another one. Look at that.
He burnt out before he was 27 for me. He burnt out before he was 27 for me.
Yeah, 100%. Wayne Rooney, the young Wayne Rooney from 17, 18, when he got that move to United and scored on his debut that hat trick, I think it was Galatasaray or Fenerbahce or something. He scored hat trick. Yeah. To have the balls as an 18-year-old kid to say, I'm taking that free kick, and he's doing it to Man United players. I'm having that free kick. I'm scoring my hat trick, mate. Yeah, you knew then the mentality was there. And that guy terrorized us, man. I fucking swear to God. He was dusted by 27.
Yeah, but that's the whole situation with footballers. It's very rare that a player, plays carries on with, let me just rephrase it. It's very rare that a player who makes his debut at 17 and 18 becomes a regular fixture in the side at that age. I don't see players, their prime years being like the normal prime years of 27 to 32. I think sadly, some of them burn out because managers batter them, play them every game, no rest, boom, boom. Before you know it, they're 27, but they got the body of a 33-year-old. Big Jack, young Jack. I don't call him Big Jack. He's tiny, young Jack. But you know what I mean. Aaron Ramsey. You can say that about Aaron Ramsey.
Ramsey is another one. Yeah.
Another one who same kind of era in Jack, was a first team player at Cardiff. Was it between 17 and 18? His prime years was probably in 23, 24, 25. After that, what's happened with Aaron? You know what I mean? He got his big move to Italy. Didn't work out for Aaron Ramsey. What's Aaron Ramsey?
But this is the thing as well. Like, there's so many players like that, right? Michael Owen burst onto the scene. And the reason these players burn out so quickly is because they're so elite. They are undroppable. Yeah. Michael Owen was Golden Boot winner in his first 2 seasons ever in the Premier League. Yeah. Then he won the Ballon d'Or in his 3rd year. Then he got his move to Real Madrid. Yeah. Then when he came back from Madrid, he's finished. He had that 18 to 24, that 6-year period where he was insane, washed, finished.
The same with Robbie Fowler, though. Robbie Fowler as well. Robbie Fowler, this is the guy that, you know, like, who made his debut against Fulham. I think he was 17, scored, and then Graves Sinnes gave him a run in the side. The season afterwards, before his you know, his 90th birthday, scoring hat-tricks against us.
Yep.
And then by the time he's 21, you know, in 2 seasons for Liverpool, he scored about 30 plus league goals in 2 seasons. And then he got his injury when he was 23, you know, against Everton in 98. He was never the same player again. And that's what happens. Players who start, there's nothing wrong with it, because at the end of the day, if they're hot, you play them.
Yeah.
Managers don't play them. That's what you know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to. I think the days we're accustomed to seeing, you know, we've seen just so many players, and somebody in the chat put Messi. This is why when I tell people he's a generation player.
Yeah, he's different.
For anyone to come on at 17 and to be almost 40. Look, I'm 40. Kenny's in his 40. We all 40 club. If your ass is still playing,
Kenny's in his 50. Kenny's in his 50.
I'm 51, mate.
You should have.
Sorry, I have to do it to you, Kenny.
But hey, but any player that's in his 30s or 40s still playing football at a high level, man, more power to you, because it takes a lot.
What kicks in?
Ronaldo's in that as well. That bracket. Yeah, Ronaldo's 39 today.
That's rare. That's extremely rare. Extremely rare to see somebody still do that.
Mate, look at Pepe at Porto. Pepe's 40, oldest Champions League scorer ever. And do you know what's funny as well? The ones that have finished early. Daniel Sturridge is another one of them that's finished early. Yeah, because he was so good in his younger years, you couldn't drop him. The exception, the other side of that, what you're saying about Messi, James Milner, is the model professional. That's why he's still playing.
He's a robot. He's a robot
because he looks after himself. Yeah, but I remember you remember this, guys. Yeah, when James Milner broke on the scene, he was playing up front.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was bagging goals at 17.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. And then he's played all different positions. But why? Because he knows, to prolong his career, he has to adapt. Whereas a lot of these players don't adapt.
Yeah, but
they're just there for the quick buck.
Yeah, all right. But there's one player that we haven't mentioned, because all right, we don't like him because we thought he was whiter than white until we found out what he'd done with his brother. But Ryan Giggs, Ryan Giggs, it's true. Ryan Giggs was the first team at Man United at 17, and then he played until he was 40.
All the way through,
I remember his debut, Kenny, jinking around everybody.
Yeah, but you think about the most decorated players in English football, it's Ryan Giggs. But you're not. So he's another one that's called defies logic. You know what I mean? I don't think he's Man United's greatest ever player. For me, Man United's greatest ever player. If you took it over a short period, is Cristiano. For me, from the player,
you're a Cristiano fanboy, Kenny, so you can say that.
I didn't see George Best play. I didn't see Bobby Charlton play. I didn't see Dennis Law play. But obviously, they're the best. But from the players I see, I grew up with Brian Robson. And then until I saw Eric Cantona, I thought that.
I was going to say Cantona's the best player I've seen play for them.
But for that period, I have to say Cristiano Ronaldo, because Cristiano Ronaldo, for me, the way he changed his career from being like a guy who did like lollipops all the time to a cold eye finisher. For me, Cristiano Ronaldo's the best Man United player I've seen. But after that, Paul Scholes, for me, I reckon. Paul Scholes, I think Paul Scholes is better than Beckham, better than all the class of '92 put together. So I think Paul Scholes, knowing a lot of people can disagree with me, but I think England's greatest ever player for me is Paul Scholes.
But this is the thing, most people, right? You know when a player's good is when like elite level legends of the game that have played for other clubs say, Scholesy. When you got Zidane saying Scholes is the best. When you got Pirlo saying Scholes is the best. Xavi, Scholes is the best. Like these players are all saying Scholes is the best. Scholes is the best, bro. They've played against him. We watched him. We've been lucky enough to watch some of these great players. But that's when you know you're a top player. Nobody says Giggs was the best. We know Giggs was quality, but he ain't on that level. Scholes is insane.
Don't say about Gerald and Lampard. Nope. Although a lot of people talk about Gerald Lampard and that being in lights, and they have fantastic careers. Lampard's
top players as well, but not on that level. Scholes was different, man.
But in terms of like bossing a game, Paul Scholes. Remember, Paul Scholes was a split striker when he first came on the scene at Man United in '94, and then after he turned himself to one of the best midfielders in the world for me. I mean, they used to call him Sat-Nav.
He was a bad boy. He used to score bangers as well. But we are going to wrap this up, guys. Nice little trip down memory lane to end it. We are going to redirect to Rants. He's live with Northside on his channel right now. I'll be back again in about an hour. I'm going to do the Man City game against Brentford. But Kenny, always a pleasure, man. What you got coming up this week, mate?
Well, Dan's just invited me onto his show tomorrow, and of course I'm going to say yes. And,
who are you on with?
I don't know. It could be someone from like Watford. It could be like someone from Watford who's got Portuguese African blood. Who knows? It could be someone else.
Kenny's links in the comment, people. Kenny Ken 1972 Insta. Matty's links there as well. Southern Gooner for his YouTube channel. Matty, always a pleasure, bro. What you got coming up this week, man?
Brother, this going down memory lane just gave me an idea, so I think I'm gonna put some in the pipeline for that at some point. But other than that, man, I'm
in it.
What's
Guys,
that? Okay.
You know, the best ever English player, or the best players, you know, in the Premiership. That's probably a pub fight, isn't it?
Before we go, let's go just us three, chat play along as well, yeah, before we wrap this up, yeah. Right. My top 3 Premier League players, just Premier League. Yeah, Premier League players, my top 3, and I went viral for saying this because people couldn't believe the 3 I picked. But my best 3, Dennis Bergkamp, Gianfranco Zola, and Eric Cantona. But what's yours? What's yours, Kenny? And then Matty go after.
Yeah. My best Premiership players ever. Thierry Henry.
That's one.
Thierry Henry. Paul Scholes and Dennis Bergkamp.
Matty?
I'm gonna go TT, Dennis Bergkamp, Eric Cantona. That's my.
I see a thing pop up on Instagram Reels the other day, and it was Ferguson talking about Gianfranco Zola, and he was sat in a hotel room, sat in a hotel lobby or something, yeah, and he was saying, "I hated him." He goes, "I hated him." He goes, "Why did he always have a smile on his face? He's playing Man United. It pissed me off. Yeah, he shouldn't be smiling when he's playing Man United." He goes, "I couldn't stand him." He goes, he used to drive me insane. Every other player that used to play against Man United used to have the fear of God put in him. He goes, but he used to have a smile on his face, laughing as he's running around my whole team. He goes, what a player. Yeah, that's Fergie. I love Zola, man. What a baller he was. He was about 5 foot.
You think about it, right? Chelsea have had all that success under Abramovich, and you speak to a lot of Chelsea fans. Obviously, there's a lot of people say Big Frank's their best ever player, but you speak to, you know, there's like a thinking tank amongst Chelsea fans who still think Gianfranco is the best player they've ever seen, and he wasn't part of that Abramovich era.
Well, they had Ruud Gullit, Vialli, R.I.P. to him. They had Vialli, Gullit, Zola. They had a quality. But this is the thing: it's right? People say, yeah, obviously he had a lot of success at Abramovich, yeah. But they were still decent before Abramovich. Let's not forget that. Yeah, they were still getting cup finals. They were still winning stuff.
I remember I said, Lee, they were sitting in cup finals. Every time you look up, they was in a cup.
Right, 1999, they finished when Man United did the treble in 99. 99, they finished like 2 points or 3 points off the top. We finished second, they finished third. And it was like 3 or 4 points between all 3 of us. That was Man United's treble team.
Yeah.
All right. Crazy. But listen, we are going to wrap this up, guys. Yeah, Dan Petrescu as well. Come on, big up my Romanian G's, bruv. Like, come on.
He was a good player. I have to admit, he was a good footballer.
He was. And then less said about Adrian Mutu, the better. Wait, he still owes Chelsea money to this day. He refuses to pay it.
I'll tell you what, I think Andrew Mutu did more sniffing off a woman's body than he did scoring goals.
Oh, what a life, though, man. What a life he's led, bro.
He wasn't sniffing dust either.
All right, we are going to wrap this up, guys. Big ups to everyone who's locked in. Before we go, I've got one super chat. Or 2 super chats got to read out real quick. I hate saying this, but we're extremely nervous about these charges. You need to hear how the city is speaking about it. The club are worried as well. Bro, they ain't gonna relegate you. Don't worry, man. It's that they'll be relegating the best team in the league.
That's not good for business. Let's put it like that. That's not good for business.
It's not good for business for the Premier League. Exactly.
Next season, City won't win the league because I think they'll get between 10 to 15 points deduction. That's it.
They'll have to dock them more than that because they'll still win the league.
I still think I don't see it being anything more than 15 points.
But then you know what will happen, right? We'll go and win the league next season, yeah, because they get docked and Klopp's gone. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah. Then all of us Arsenal fans that have sat, all the Arsenal fans that have sat there and said their COVID season when they won the league, Liverpool, yeah, rubbish, blah blah blah. Yeah, I think they forget that we won the COVID.
We
Cup.
won the COVID FA Cup.
Exactly, the COVID Cup. If we win the league next season because there's no Klopp there and they go backwards and Man City get 20, 30 points, same thing, innit? And then do you know what would be even funnier? Well, it wouldn't be funny, but it would be funny. Yeah, but if they get docked, Liverpool go backwards, and then we still don't win the league. Unai wins it.
Who's there to take over unless they get rid of Todd Bowley and bring Abramovich back?
Well, that ain't happening anytime soon. And big up to Chike. Says, Matty, who wins the Super Bowl?
Bro, that's a tough one, man. Conventional wisdom would say Kansas City. I think Kansas City will probably win, but I wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco win. I'll tell you, I'll put it to you this way. And these two, they'll love this. If Shanahan does not win the Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers after being in the damn thing 4 times, they're gonna fire him. He'll be fired after that. And there'll be another one I drop in our chat too about getting fired.
Yeah, come on, Matty drops these in our chat. Yeah, look, another one's gone. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. But listen, we're gonna redirect to Rance's stream with Northside. So go and spam his chat with Lee Rage, yeah. I'll be back again for the City game in about an hour. And yeah, man.
Tell Saeed I'm coming out of FIFA retirement, man. I saw what he did to you the other night, man. I'm coming out of FIFA retirement.
He's a wrong man.
Put him in his place. I used to play FIFA all the time, man.
Have you got Xbox or PS?
PS5.
Anyone who's got an Xbox, yeah, when you're defending, I know you can flip the right stick here to auto change the player, but that left bumper, yeah, and mine don't work. Yeah, and I still scored 5 goals past him. Yes, I conceded 9. Yeah, but I lost every game. I think we played 4 games. I scored in every game. Yeah, and he played with an all-star team with Pele and Hullet and all of that. I still scored against him. This is the thing. Me going forward, it's the muscle memory in the fingers, bruv. Yeah, but it's so it's like riding a bike. It comes back to you again. Yeah, right. But that left bumper, bro, defensively, I couldn't do anything. Yeah, in fact, as soon as I get off of here, I'm ordering a control pad because I ain't even been able to get my glasses straight.
I've got to come out of retirement. I hadn't played FIFA in about 7-8 years, but I might have to come back, man. I might have to come back for that.
Come on, man. Hey, it's good content as well.
Yeah.
When he was trying to sign Mbappe, yeah, and he got sacked from Man United, Kenny, yeah, right? He got sacked from United as manager, yeah, right? He then got the Real Madrid job. The budget was 190 million, right? He went and tried to buy Mbappe for the whole budget, yeah. And then offered him 200 grand a week. Mbappe and his agent said it's an insult and walked out.
Insult.
I was crying. Somebody clipped it up. Oh, mate, it was funny, man. But yeah, I'm gonna buy a control pad straight away. But listen, go and spam Rance's chat, people. Yeah, with Lee Raid. We're out of here. Big up to everyone locked in, man. Laters.